Jared, I'm not hearing you on the chat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party made it to the Tabedran capital of Rosewick, hidden far into the Sprintwood off of Lake Thalasso. And infiltrating via Caleb's smuggling relatives into the city, the party made contact with Caleb's uncle, a burly and mysterious man who had a connection to Caleb's lost parents. However, on interrogation, while the man has made clear his willingness to assist the party with basic logistics and a room and board, he is not as willing as Caleb's father to stick his neck out for something that doesn't benefit him. And he and his family intend to leave Rosewick before the curse claims them. As well, someone that Caleb is quite close to has been making sporadic appearances in the Bear's Lodge, getting into fights, and from the sounds of it, has started their own smuggling ring within Rosewick's confines. In the interim, Zephyr has acquired some locks, and Lucian and Whatsis familiarize themselves with the Tabedran political landscape, as this is natural for the Tabedrans, but a little more foreign to the elves. As you guys are shown to your rooms in the Bear's Lodge, that is where we will pick back up. As you're each shown to your rooms, the rooms themselves are small but surprisingly luxurious. This was originally a fortification, so the size of the rooms are relatively utilitarian and thus rather small. Lucian, you suspect yours was originally a closet before it was converted. However, the bed itself is incredibly fine. The decorations are mismatched but shockingly lavish. And overall, it's quirky but comfortable. The only real downside being that just the rooms themselves are very small.
Okay, so I'm used to this then.
Okay, are we talking like a big closet or like?
I'd say like just skirting the edge of walk-in closet.
Okay. I just. Am I alone or am I with any?
Yeah. Like the Dragoslav sisters will, or sorry, the Vladovich sisters will drop you off at your room and then just be on their way.
I was just gonna make a joke about being in the closet, but since I'm alone,
You privately think you're joking. You think it's very funny.
Yes. I think I'm hilarious.
Or when doesn't she?
It's true.
You're all shown to your rooms. And Caleb entering yours, obviously one of the larger ones to account for your familial connection. Your room and what possessions you left behind were actually seem relatively unchanged. Nothing is dusty. It seems they've been keeping it clean. And while there is evidence of drawers being opened and closets being checked, overall, your space has been left relatively unchanged and unburdened.
Could I say one thing before we all part our ways?
Sure.
Lucian's gonna look at the Tabedra boys. Like it or not, in the morning I'm gonna check on you two because of this whole sleeping paralysis thing.
Don't complain about what you might find.
You don't have anything I haven't seen.
Well, you haven't met his boyfriend yet.
She just kind of like looks at Wuz's and she's just like, you realize who my brother is, right?
So
It's already late. I doubt he'll be here anyways.
Well, didn't they say that that he usually frequents this place like a few times a week?
Yeah, but I'd imagine it's. Is it nighttime?
And yeah, it's getting fairly late at this point. Kind of
I'd
late
imagine,
afternoon.
I'd imagine since he doesn't live here, he has to leave at some point, so he's probably not here at night.
Unless he stays.
either way,
Well, I give it a once over.
Well, regardless, I will be checking on you.
well, just don't be surprised if it's locked. I'm gonna go to my room and lock.
If I can't get in, I'll have Weiss's neck down. Don't worry.
Do the sisters hear that?
They do, but they just kind of smirk to each other. However, the uncle kind of scoffs and puts a hand on your shoulder, Lucian, and that won't be necessary. I have a key for every room.
That would be great. I guess if it is locked, I'll just come talk to you.
He kind of gives a nod and continues escorting you all to your rooms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess then Caleb could ask. Wait, was he the one who said that Dimitri's been in here?
It was the sisters who told you, but the uncle did confirm it.
I guess Caleb will ask if he's usually coming in during the day or at night or what.
He takes a puff of his cigar and depends on what brings him here. If it's on business, he usually comes during the early hours. And if it's for pleasure, he comes at night.
Interesting. I guess I'll have to give it a once over, unless he's already come today. Oh, get over it!
Yeah, Lucian was just about to be like lean over to one.
Really?
Just be
Really?
like, is that a euphemism for something?
No, sorry. That's me, not what's his. That's me. I'm sorry.
Like, come on, man. Man, why did they ever make those two words the same?
No idea.
I want to know who made that decision because I have some words with them.
Yeah, I didn't even hear what you said. So.
It's whatever.
Don't worry.
Alright, let's continue. Let's not get
It's
caught
hard to
up
hear
with this.
through a locked door.
As you all make your way to are escorted to your respective rooms, is there anything you all would like to do over the course of a long rest?
Yes, there is, but you can come back to me.
Okay, anyone
Well,
else?
Yes, but I was gonna say you'd come back to me because it involves Lucian.
Okay. Anyone else?
A private message.
Okay. All right. If that's everything. Lucian, we'll start with you, and then what's his can come in afterwards, depending on what it is. Lucian, what would you like to do?
I'm going to send Agnes a message and just kind of like update her and let her know like what exactly like make sure that she knows that like we're okay and we're here, and just check in with her and see how things are going for her.
Okay. Sending the Sun Dragon Queen your message. She reports back that so far things are going fairly well. The Autumnfall Queen is annoying as ever, but she is otherwise doing perfectly well. And is frankly excited for the upcoming battles. As you conclude your message, you hear a knock on the door. What's his?
So,
Oh yeah, I'll go to the door and open the door.
so, are you still curious about what's in the bag? As he points at his bag with a dead body in it.
You see Lucian look at you for a very long time, and then she opens the door to let you in her room.
Does her room look smaller than mine?
No, the rooms are about the same size.
Okay, so he will then go in.
All right.
Oh. I know you've been researching the Ichor. So I was wondering if you would like to take notes and help me with a little research project.
Immediately, I'm going to fetch all of my notes.
Well, you're accepting this a lot easier than I thought you would. So, the plan is I'm going to see what Ichor does to a dead body.
She kind of like stops in mid, like searching for her notes, and then just kind of turns to him. Well, I mean, we did have a test run with Liv. He was definitely.
He was still alive.
Well, I mean, he was on death's door.
No, he wasn't. He was trapped in the T-Rex's mouth, but not even close to being dead. Just trapped.
I see. I was under the impression that he was dying, so.
He would have died,
Are we sure?
but he wasn't dying.
Are we sure that we should be doing this, like, here and now?
Well, Caleb and Zephyr, this is their area of expertise. We're just going to get in the way, so I figured we could do our own thing, you know?
She kind of considers for a minute. So what exactly are you thinking?
He's going to pull out the race placer that he in motion with it. I have a vial of my blood in this. And you and I are pretty similar in personality-wise. So the compatibility seems more likely than most.
Matthew,
Yes.
with my research and everything that Tuco and I have been doing kind of behind the scenes, do you think maybe I could make that assessment if they would be compatible?
That would require a lot of personal knowledge of Q as a person that you don't have.
Right.
It's not about the medicine, it's about the personality, the soul of the person.
Well, we don't really know him, is the thing, is...
Yes,
yeah.
but I fought him, and when you fight, you learn a lot about a person.
I can understand how you feel that way, but there's a lot we don't know.
Well, if it would make you more comfortable, we could sneak out of the city and do it out there in the... and we can do our experiment with the dead body and the Ichor in the woods. That way, if it doesn't work right, it won't be let loose in the city.
I feel like maybe we should ask Caleb if he's okay with us being just outside. Because I'm mostly here for him. Zephyr can do whatever it is that Zephyr does. But I'm here to support Caleb. So it would require a little bit of information from him and make sure that he's okay. But I also would like to check on them in the morning.
Well, yeah, of course you would.
I'm having a lot of.
Come on, aren't you curious?
She kind of like has that look on her face, like I am curious. She's just like, and then she like takes this really, really deep sigh, and she's like, "Why?" All right, I'm in. Don't make me fucking regret this.
Do we want to do it now, or do we want to do it in the morning? As he puts his finger on the trigger.
No, don't get too happy over there. I'm gonna send Caleb a message. And I'm just gonna say to Caleb, hey, sorry to bother you. We're gonna do some experimenting. Would you prefer if we did it outside the city, or do you like want us super close by still? Because I'm cool either way. But it's whatever. Yeah, you can respond.
Yeah, 25 or
What kind of experiment?
no.
Okay, you know what? I'll be like, now don't move. Don't move. I'm gonna go over to Caleb's room so I don't have to keep burning spell slots.
Alright. Caleb, do you allow them entry?
Yeah. I guess.
She'll knock on your door.
Alright. The young rogue allows you entry into his bedroom.
Alright, what kind of craziness are you getting up to? Did Gil talk you into it?
I mean, he did appeal to my curiosities.
Oh god. Oh god. You
now,
let Gil tell you to do something.
yeah, it is kind of.
By the way, I meant What's-his. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I was thinking it, but I was like, I'm not gonna remember.
No, I knew
I
Austin
know.
was sitting there, like, about to explode.
Austin is like on that shit.
No,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm not gonna care. It was just...
So he wants to give Q some of his acre blood, and we're hoping that maybe something good will come out of it.
Oh, it's worse than I thought.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
the real silence there.
I mean, it's better than, necromancy, right?
Honestly, at least with necromancy, you have control over your creation.
That is true.
With this, if it turns into an Ichor beast, you won't have any control over it.
Well, I mean,
And
we
you
have.
remember how tough those Gil Ichor beasts were?
Yeah, that's.
Do you think that What's-his? Fuck. Sissy, dear, can we like say it wears off?
Wears off.
No.
It's fine. It's fine. You can say
Yeah.
Gil. I know what you mean. It's okay.
What's-his?
Don't fucking worry about it.
Or how tough those What's-his Ichor beasts were?
Yeah.
Do you think the two of them? Do you think the two of you might be able to defeat that? Or
Well,
like,
I was going to ask you, what could you tell me about Q? Did you know him personally?
no, did Caleb know Q personally?
We established you knew of him, but you weren't exactly close. He was the captain of a guard in a different city. Like, you knew each other vaguely, but
Okay.
weren't exactly friends.
Caleb, like, he's the captain of a guard in a completely different city from where I grew up.
She kind of has that so face.
Caleb just gets that blank face that people get whenever someone's just being, like, I'm not amused face.
She'll kind of put up her hands. Well, if it gives you comfort, I mean, Gil is going to be right there, so I have a meat shield.
You know what? If you want to risk getting yourselves killed, be my guest. Just don't do it in my city.
That's what I was asking. Okay, thank you. Good night. And she leaves.
Already calling
Goodbye.
It's where he grew up. I think he has a right to.
Yeah.
No. Lucian's like, no, that's
Like,
fair. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lucian will just go back to her room and just be like,
By the way, I was gonna note what Caleb was gonna do.
okay.
Caleb is going to go. Caleb's like, you have fun with this travesty. I'm going to go take a bath.
Okay, I'm gonna still check on you and, Zephyr in the morning.
Whatever.
You're still alive.
Good night!
Good
I'll
luck.
I'll close the
Luck.
door.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
Don't wish me luck, just give me luck.
Alright.
Those are precious, Tim.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my room, and just be like, is there a way to disengage that? We need to...
Well, I haven't done it yet.
Cool. Get your shit, I guess.
He never took it off, so he's got all of his stuff with him.
Yeah, Lucian will just look sadly, because, like, she probably absolutely made herself a little habitat by now. Now I have to pick it all up.
Alright.
Okay, is it a mattress or like is it like a?
It's just like all of her notes are kind of like it's a very odd. It looks like a very odd system, but obviously it's something that works for her.
Oh no, I'm talking about the whole like mattress bed part,
It's a bed positioned against the back corner of the room.
but like for the padding and stuff on it.
Yeah, it appears to be a mattress.
Does it look like it could be folded up and put into a bag of holding?
Only you.
I mean, I guess that's gonna. Let me see what you've got in your bag of holding so far. I need to see if you can even fit it.
As far as I'm aware, just a dead body.
Don't need a mattress. It's fine.
On your character sheet, you have quite a bit in your bag of holding.
Yeah, I still have room for like 400 pounds. Well, 395 pounds.
Mm,
And then whatever Q weighs.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need it. It's fine. I don't even sleep. I meditate, so...
What's his? Do
Okay.
you attempt to stuff the mattress anyway, or do you take Lucian's word for it?
Hey, he was just going to try to be nice to her since she's taking notes and stuff for him. And she's actually willing to go along with one of his ideas for once. But if she says she's okay, he'll take her word for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab Tuco.
All right.
Just be like, no time to explain. We're leaving. And I'm just gonna drag him.
Okay.
Just fill him in as we leave the city.
Okay.
Well, actually, because they're probably not going to want to let us out through the gates. can he find like a dark area and then activate his boots and just fly them out of the city?
You can certainly try.
That seems like a really bad idea.
And what you're doing now, it doesn't seem like a bad idea. Seems like a good idea there.
I mean, in a different sense, Lucy's just like, it's science. She can't not.
No, it's chemistry.
It's experimenting. We all know Lucian likes to do that.
All right.
I did warn you, Matthew.
What's his roll? Stealth at disadvantage.
Guidance.
So Matthew,
What's up?
did Caleb's uncle ever answer whenever he asked if Dovici had already come by?
He had said that he hadn't been by yet, but because they're expecting a delivery within the next couple days.
I gotcha.
You have guidance too, Jojo.
Okay, so that's guidance is what, a D4? D6?
D4.
Okay, that's pretty good. So that is a 27.
Okay.
Because it was actually not a very good roll, but I got a pretty decent modifier. I got a +9 modifier.
Okay.
The second roll would have, if it had been advantage, would have been a natural 20, but it's dang.
Okay.
Hopefully a 27 will do.
What's his? Grabbing the alchemist and the mage.
The mage.
You all slip out into the back alley of the Bear's Lodge, and finding a dark, seemingly lesser patrolled part of the walls, you activate your rocket boots and fly over the walls and quickly deposit your companions on the other side as you make a dart for the Sprintwood.
Yeah, I'm immediately retrieving my empty notebook that I haven't used yet. So
what's his? I will say, and obviously Lucy and you as well. How far into the Sprintwood are you going to go before you deem it safe and start proceeding with the experiment?
I would say I would want to go about 0.2 miles.
I'd say
Okay.
about maybe an hour away. Is that too far?
I don't want to go an hour. Like, we got to be close enough by that if we got to get back to our friends, we can.
I can prepare a spell that can help us with that.
Okay. Well, if it makes the mage more comfortable, an hour it is.
I also have my broom of flying. I just fucking realized because I'm dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you're heading an hour out into the Sprintwood, here I have this written down here. Sorry, my travel references loading up. Okie dokie. Heading out a couple miles into the Sprintwood, about an hour away from Fort Rosewick. You're surrounded on all sides by thick, deep green forest. And
Good. She's
the
here.
idle milling of the fortification is far behind you. And by your estimation, you should still be a good distance away from Fuse as well. The three of you are alone.
Alright, I'm gonna get out my notebook and shit. And I'm going to tell him to do we want to like set him up against a tree, or do we want to like lay him down?
Well, he's dead. I don't think he cares about comfort.
Well, I mean, he's gonna care when he wakes up.
Yeah, he'll lay him out on the ground all nice and flat, making sure there's no roots under his back or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, don't want to be rude.
All right, so you're laying him upright against the base of a tree?
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
Hello?
Hello. There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Which is the chaos.
Yeah, you've
Uh,
been.
I was wondering when y'all would
conscripted for an
notice I was here.
experiment.
Well, no, we noticed you were here. It's just that you hadn't said anything, so we just kind of kept going.
Yeah, apparently Tuco's been conscripted into an experiment.
Yeah, Tuco's been corralled. Lucian and What's-His have a science experiment they want to conduct with the Icker, and they've asked you to accompany them.
Oh no.
Since she and Lucy had been researching the Icar together, it just made sense.
Just as a quick refresher for your reference on where you are, it's like basically the sun is setting and it's starting to turn to night. What's-His is setting his dead body up against a tree and is planning to inject it with his infected blood.
I also want it to be noted.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also would like it to be noted by Tuco.
Yeah, no,
that-
Tuco would have a few questions.
All right, sure, by all means. What's-His,
Andy.
as you set
Yeah.
up?
Pardon.
Yes.
What are we doing with the corpse? Why are we injecting it with Ica?
I have to see what happens. We see what happens with
No!
we see what happens with a live subject, but we don't know what happens to a dead person if we inject them.
Well, I mean, we do know what happens with a dead person. We just haven't witnessed it.
I'm confused. How do you know what happens if you didn't witness it? What happened
She kind of
last
like
time?
she kind of like gestures at herself.
Yeah, but that was done in a
was-
lab with careful
I mean,
testing.
We're
We're just propping him against a tray.
Yeah, we got to work with what we've got.
Oh god. I'm gonna prepare my gun in case I have to use it.
You probably will.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a possibility.
That's why we're out here and not in the city.
Oh no. Yeah, I like to imagine Tuco was just like zoning out hard.
yeah, whatever.
The stupidity, the combined stupidity of this group, I just couldn't.
Combined.
But don't worry. At least out here, it's not going to be that bad. Plus, it's just us. And on top of that, it takes a while for this process to go through, so it's not going to be instantaneous.
Oh no.
I hope. He says, "I see."
You just see Tuco's ears just flatten against his head as he's like, "Oh, this is awful."
Awesome. Do you think the party efficiency would go up if it was just Caleb and Zephyr?
I mean, most likely.
Well, you're
yeah.
forgetting Caro.
Yeah, don't forget Tuco. Tuco's sane.
And Tuco's more likely to get out of this than
Well, that's the
alive
funny
the rest
thing
of
is
us.
like a sane person doesn't affect things too much, but having an insane person greatly affects things.
Yes, it does.
Lucian, as you bust out your notebook, and Tuco, you prepare your weapon. What's-His? You prop Q up against a tree. Pull out the race replacer. Are you sure you want to do this?
Are you sure?
Hmm.
When the DM says, "Are you sure?"
Immediately,
Yeah,
Lucian's
quick
just
save.
on.
Yeah, let's do a quick save before.
Yeah, there's no quick saves in D&D.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Immediately, Lucian's just like crisscross applesauce, like 2 inches away from the dead guy.
Oh, that's not a pose I'd take around him, Sheila. At least be ready to run if you got to.
Well, I mean, I just did gentle repose on him. He doesn't stink.
That's
I
not
think
what I
she
meant.
means if he swings.
Oh.
Maybe a little bit further back.
And maybe don't sit in the most like defenseless position right in front of the monster to be.
I guess the first thing I want to do real quick is I'm going to make a little like a small fire, just so we have like a light source and fire to burn it with if it turns hostile.
Okay.
Then he'll eject
God.
the body.
We're gonna
with
have
the, with it.
like a Frankenstein shit thing go on here.
If this
Giving
guy does come
Frankenstein is
back, he's gonna have so many
Giving
fucking
you'd
questions.
be Frankenstein, and this would be your monster.
I know I'm Frankenstein. I'm very aware. I'm very aware of that fact.
What's is you light a fire for both a light source and in case of emergency. Pull out your syringe gun, load up the cartridge with your infected blood, and plunge it into the neck of Q. Tuco, you watch as he pulls the trigger and the syringe drains, pumping the body full of infected blood. And as you pull it free from the skin and take a step back, you all watch. A second passes. 2 seconds. More. It's been about, you'd estimate, maybe 10 seconds tops before the body twitches.
I immediately start writing shit down.
Black liquid begins to trail from the eyes and drool from the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And seep out of the axe wound on the neck and shoulder.
Like, they don't even know
Yes.
if Gil is compatible with this person.
No.
No, we already established that Lucian wouldn't be able to gauge that unless she knew him personally.
The body leans to the right and vomits ichor into the grass. It leans to the left and stretches out its neck as more and more ink begins to flow freely now from the wounds. And it lets out this gurgling. And twitch and shake and shudder violently.
Give it a second. Lucian's just like, it's okay.
This is what happened with Liv, more or less.
Yeah, this is normal. This is okay.
Q's body lets out this low, rattling hiss as his stomach heaves and caves, and you watch as the arms twitch, shudder, and then fall off of his body completely.
Oh! I write that down.
Why did he lose his arms?
Can we just talk about the fact that this is, like, some of the shit that this party has done is actually kind of horrifying?
Yeah, welcome to D&D, dude.
Like,
You're wondering about the
separately,
arms.
turned, like, our ally into, like, an abomination. And now they're doing the same thing to this dead guy.
Well, the first time was an accident. Or, well, I didn't think it would happen.
Yeah, Zephyr was just trying to save his life and just genuinely didn't think about the fact that his blood's contagious in that way. From the empty arm sockets, inky tendrils begin to emerge like tentacles, writhing snakes wrapping around and around and around each other. And as they stretch, they begin to, like, feel the world around them as if trying to get a gauge of their surroundings before they hit the tree you've positioned them up against. And the roots form claws and begin to dig into the bark of the tree. And the creature smashes its head against the bark of the tree behind it as ink splatters everywhere as Q's head basically flattens to the bark. And as it pulls free, Q's skull begins to reform, but only halfway. The about, like, right where the ears would be backwards. completely deform and just connect to the tree bark with sticky ichor, and a noose of ink begins to form around his neck, and tendrils stretch out from the rope, connecting up to the branches of the tree above, as Q begins to fuse with the tree you positioned him against.
Oh shit!
Tuco's taking the shot.
Roll to hit.
Alright.
What weapon are you using? Just so I know.
You are glitched out, what'd you say?
You said
I
what
was
weapon?
asking, yeah, what weapon are you using?
My fucking firework weapon.
Well,
Okay. Do.
Oh, let's start a forest fire.
Well, thankfully, it mentions that that it won't. It specifically won't burn things down. So.
yeah, it's just a firework thing, but just for this.
Alright. Let me see what my...
Is it looking
crap.
humanoid at all?
And don't worry, because you're using the fireworks launcher, I'll be the one rolling for this.
Me?
They would be rolling. So it's like,
Why would you be rolling for me?
Because it's a saving throw. It's a saving throw.
You don't use it. You don't attack them personally. They have to save you. It's fine.
Tuco, you launch your firework at the creature, and you're all deafened by the burst of a point-blank firework. And the creature gurgles and retches, and as gunpowder begins... As gunpowder and
was not part of the deal.
It's fine. This happened with our other experiment. Is it looking humid, or is it looking more?
It's rapidly becoming less and less humanoid by the second.
Okay. Yeah, Caleb
So,
saw this. He would
if
have
the
to
rest of
seriously
you-
reconsider his allies.
No, yeah, Tuco's looked at Caleb like, what are you doing? Get your gun trained on if it isn't already!
Caleb's not there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just
y'all
us
three.
three.
Yeah, it's just y'all three.
here?
Roleplay amongst yourselves for a hot sec. I got a phone call.
Man, who be interrupting the DM?
Shit.
Well, the reason you're here, Tuco, was because we thought, well, that, studying, that you would be interested.
They kind
Yeah.
of
Since you have been researching it.
Yeah, well, you see, he would have had y'all not directly wanted to go to human testing or human trials.
Well, I mean,
It was
I am
a dead
pop-
guy.
Potter.
Yeah, a dead guy.
Let's see. Fuck.
Yeah, no. Tuco is going to blast
Trying to
this
figure
thing
out-
into oblivion if he must.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing something as well.
Yeah, since it's not looking human, yeah.
Now
Let's-
this is where they draw the line.
Let's-
Well, Tuco wasn't present for this, so you can't blame him.
Let's
Yeah,
nip
when
it.
it fused into the tree, towards the tree, when it fused into part of the tree, that's when I knew, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
It wasn't the arms falling off for me. It was the fusing into the tree.
No, yeah, by the time the arms fell off, he was like, that's sus.
Yeah,
Well,
this isn't good.
Not really.
Also,
because
who's
if you think
interrupting the
about
DM,
Neil
Matthew?
has no arms.
Oh, just phone call from
Well,
family.
not biological arms. He has mechanical arms. So
Oh,
reasonably,
okay.
the arms falling off would
The
match
only-
his DNA.
Only Burger Arm is.
Help me out here, Matthew. I don't
Use both his arms.
have my
There's
notes
one.
with me right now, but I know Lucian would know this. I know that she would know what type of magic would be
Radiant.
it's radiant.
Necrotic didn't do much to it.
Okay. So that's not gonna work.
Hmm.
Yeah, put
Uh,
Wait,
party-
You know what?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
nah, fam.
I'm
Tuco's
going
gonna
to,
leave in a second if things don't get better.
No. I'm
I
going
have
to
a
cast.
feeling that the party's about to get
Do I
laned
have
up.
lightning bolt? Do I have that? prepared is the question.
Lucian, as you begin to panic and search your spellbook for options, and Tuco, you prepare to flee as the creature rides and hisses from your firework going off in its face. It's hard to tell, given it's not very expressive, what effect it had on it exactly, but it definitely seems to have irritated it. And it begins to, the tentacles that had clawed into the tree begin to pull back, and you guys noticed it's gotten bark stuck to the ink of its arms, and it begins to form wooden prosthetics to imitate what's as his own. And it slowly pulls itself up into a sitting position. And
Can I try something?
by all means.
I will stand in front of it and, in a way, show it my arms and like the fact that, one, I haven't even grabbed a weapon yet, so that I'm not trying to be hostile. Like, just showing it that it doesn't have to attack.
The tree was not part of the deal. Tuco noped at the tree.
I'm just gonna be
a black tree ant coming after us.
I'm just gonna be very, very cautious and
Do
just
you have
kind
a
of.
problem with black tree ants?
I'm gonna.
Let's not do that.
I'm just gonna stand up slowly and just kind of be like, "Take it easy. Can you speak?"
Okay. Check something here. Yep, okay.
Replies and gurgles.
Yeah, one of
No,
you
no.
already shot it, but the rest of you are gonna be like, "Oh, you know, it's fine."
Oh, it's okay. We
Okay.
like it. We like that you attach yourself to a fucking tree.
Like, Gil
We're cool with that.
is a barbarian, but he's reasonable even in his rage. He can be reasoned with.
After
Somehow.
he's been
Yeah,
shot.
questionable.
As the two of you attempt to placate the creature, it covers its head with its wooden arms and lets out this before suddenly lashing and slices into both of your stomachs. You both take 6. What type of damage is this? You both take 6 slashing damage.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. It's okay. This happened with me.
And it leans over and vomits ichor into the ground and starts pulling at the noose on its neck as if it's burning it.
Take it easy. Take it easy. It's okay. We're not going to hurt you.
And it starts to take a step towards you, and you can see it still has that tendril-like leash attaching it to the treetop.
I will attack if I have to.
It's stronger than you.
Is this proof enough for you?
Okay.
What is stronger than us?
No. Is this the same effect that, like, with, like, the what's-it Strixes? Because they were doing that too.
You do recall them doing that, yes.
Okay.
This is a good way to get information. What is stronger than us?
Me.
Yeah.
This is
Pretty much exactly like the Strixes.
Yep, no. Tuco is just.
That's what the last group said, and I'll pull out my ionic axes.
guiding bolt.
The creature's claws begin to glow with ionic energy.
Oh, fuck, I forgot they would have that too,
Yeah,
though.
they take your items as well.
I
You
forgot.
two are idiots! Fucking idiots!
Man, I can't believe they
We can talk about this later. Let's kill it now.
I am making all the decisions from this point forward involving the Ica.
That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think so.
Oh, honey, you don't get anything to say after this. No. You're getting locked up. Put in a barrel again. I don't care. The both of you.
We can discuss this later. I think now is a good time to attack.
I am attacking.
Yeah, guiding bolt.
and I'll swing at it with my axes.
Okay.
I'll say guiding bolt
that
at 4.
That ding is the realization between Gil and Lucian that this was a terrible idea, like Caleb tried to tell them.
Everyone
I'm
would've
so
told
glad
you.
that Tuco got dragged along against
But
his
it increases the
against
chance
my
of
advisement.
survival.
Tuco
It
was
would
involved.
It increases their chance of survival.
Ah,
Yeah.
And it gives you something to do.
that's alright.
But
Yeah,
man,
the
this
last,
fight's
yeah,
probably
I
gonna take
enter
the rest
the
of the
game, I
session.
immediately have to fight an OP
So that
boss.
means Caleb doesn't get
Yay.
his moment yet.
Oh,
Just
my
think.
favorite boss battles. My
Caleb
absolute
might be
fucking
rid of
favorite.
2 nuisances.
Oh man.
Everybody, please roll for initiative.
Okay.
Well,
Fuck am I
that's
supposed to
probably
roll
the rest
for?
of the session, guys.
I'm
That's
just
how fights usually go.
Nah, it depends on the fight. It just depends on the fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take that long.
There's only one of them.
Yeah.
Until another thing gets infected by it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So to be fair,
Wait,
and you know, Tuco is uninfected, so if any of that gets into their bloodstream,
Yeah, Tuco. Oh, well, you're right. We need to infect Tuco. That's how we make it fair.
It'll balance it out.
Yeah.
like Matthew, like by that logic, wouldn't that mean like if they cut you, wouldn't that inherently get ichor into your blood?
It would, yes.
Yep.
So if this thing basically lands a hit on Tuco,
The chance that she may join the squad. Well, actually, she probably will just die. But she's not
Yeah,
compatible
hopefully
with what this.
yeah, they may not be compatible, so they may just turn in, or they may just turn into a monster when they die.
Sorry, I really thought we might have been compatible. I've been planning this out for fucking weeks. Like, I've been putting a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, I did a lot of equations, but man, am I bad at math.
It's like what's this we're talking about here? What's this isn't very good at thinking.
Yeah. If we don't want to do the battle, we can skip it.
I'm not really too concerned whether or not we
the
do
last
it.
one took forever, though.
Well, that was
Sure
also
we'd
more,
win.
Alright, yeah, we'll skip this one.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure we beat it.
We're in your fun, Matthew. I know you spent a lot of time planning this shit.
Well, it's about the player's fun, not mine.
It's about everybody's fun, Matthew.
Yeah.
But if my fun is incalculable with other people's fun, then theirs takes
I'm
priority.
interested in the fight, just to see what happens. But I'm willing to just let it get skipped over.
Let it
if that's
go.
what, if,
Let's
if
just
that's
let
what
it
the others want.
go.
Lucian, as you ready your spells, and What's as you ready your axes, taking a step back to give yourself some distance. As the creature begins to stumble towards you, it suddenly comes to a stop and kind of pulls and lunges wildly. And you realize the noose of ichor, its form that connects it to the tree, is keeping it locked in place like a dog on a chain.
Is there a reason you're attacking us?
It stops and vomits into the grass, and continues to just like claw and bite just in your general direction.
Just maybe just an unstable amalgamation. I should have known better. Fuck.
Somebody's popular.
Well, there's a planning a movie night.
What do you suggest that we do with it now? I mean,
Well, we can't
What
just
we
leave it
do?
here.
We kill it, obviously. Unless there's a way to make it stable. I'm not getting anywhere near that damn thing. No.
Well, there's still a whole lot we don't know, and I did bring that to his attention when he asked me this, but guess can't teach a dog new tricks, I guess.
I want to like be just out of his range. I'm gonna look it dead in the eyes. Can you be reasonable? Is there anything in there that can be reasoned with?
Brain
It-
hasn't rotted.
It reaches out and attempts to claw at you.
I think that's a resounding no, fellas.
And I'll just, from my distance, I will just I'll axe it.
And a
Or-
question.
Like, yeah.
Can I
will pretty just like over and over just cut it into pieces.
could I help him by aiding him with guiding
I
bolt?
don't think cutting him's gonna
Just
help.
for, well, just for the radiant damage, because it's effective.
This is literally playing with things that you do not understand.
You really had a Frankenstein moment, guys. Certified.
I literally just
Frankenstein
said
moment.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Certified.
if like people ever find out like half the shit, like
It's funny
Lucian
because
and
it's
them
my
have
favorite
done,
book.
Man, Caleb might have to like distance himself.
It takes a unsettlingly long time, like a botched guillotining where the person's just in pain and screaming the whole time. But eventually, you manage to bleed the monster enough to where it finally, mercifully, dies.
Mercifully.
And as with the previous Ichor beasts, it falls to its knees, and its ichor begins to calcify and flake away and flicker into a quantum state.
Hugo is gonna fire another rocket at it just to be safe.
Anybody got hey Tuco, do you have an extra vial?
Sure, I got plenty of them. Is he like he tosses you one?
Can I I'll catch it and can I just
I just imagine he just pulled out like a freaking pile of vials.
yeah
A vial pile?
Can I
And
just
he's
like,
like,
pop the
oh, I
vial?
got plenty.
Yeah, I just like
Oh, plenty.
I'm gonna get some of the goop.
Alright.
Now,
And then
from this point
gonna
forward,
This music is terrifying.
just from this point
I'm gonna-
forward, I'm
Yeah.
going to be in charge of the Ica experiments. Sabi?
That's not going to happen.
If that's not going to happen, Lucian, we're gonna have a problem that involves you being tied to that tree.
She's just
I-
gonna
I
Stand up
think
and
she
turn-
means that there's not going to be any more experiments.
not
He squints and looks to Lucian. Is that true? Is that what you meant?
not in this sense.
I'm not planning to do any more experiments.
Fine, you just get
Experiment-
tied to the tree.
Experiments in the sense that we, tried to do things safely like we were before.
How were you even made?
Test tubes, I guess.
I'm still working.
Laboratory. Not sure. I think they forgot a few screws.
No, I'm still working it out, but I should have known better. I just couldn't help myself.
Hugo has a, like legitimately, he stares at her. Then I don't think you should be in this practice then. Say if that thing infected something else. We caused yet another outbreak. My first impression of you lot was you fighting Strixes that was infected with his blood. We're trying to fight the standby order from causing all this shit, yeah?
I'm
Let's not
trying
make
to
up-
understand it. That's different.
Understand it in a controlled environment.
Well, that's
That
why
I
we're
can-
out here.
Oh boy.
I'm going. You two do whatever you will.
As I said, I'm done. And he's gonna like pick up what's left of the body and put it in the fire he made.
As you burn your Icker child in the flames,
And you
the
just had to go and make it dark.
Your child.
Oh,
My
sadly,
daughter and child.
it got dark as soon as Gil put in the Icker.
the quantum flakes burn and boil, and the calcified remains harden into small bits of charcoal and disappear. As you stamp out the fire to avoid spreading it into the forest, you begin to make your way back to Rosewick.
Just gonna go straight to my room.
And I'll fly us
Well,
back in, of course.
After I go, is this the next day or same day?
I mean, yeah, there's about to be a long rest.
Okay. All right. I want to do. Hang on. Sorry, I was choking on my pretzel. I want to before I go to bed, I want to do a few things. So, just
Okay.
come back.
Anything plot relevant, or just like spell rearrangement and such?
I want to send a couple messages.
Is it just like checking in on characters?
No.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything?
No, I'm good.
Oh yeah, Tuco's pissed. He's legitimately pissed off. So he is going probably to go hang out with Zephyr and Caleb wherever they are.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna have Caleb. Caleb was getting washed up.
All right. So we'll in that
Taking-
case.
He's taking his time.
All right. Caleb, after Lucian informs you of their upcoming plans to experiment with the Icker, and you see Lucian off with a good luck, they're gone for about, you'd say, like 2.5 hours, in which time you rest and then eventually grab your bath. And as you're re-emerging, physically clean as well as magically, I will say you run into Tuco in the upper halls of the Bear's Lodge as you're coming out of the bath.
So, did the other two survive?
Yes. No thanks to. I think fate has a good laugh at this sort of thing, yeah. That's why
If you
people like
believe
them.
in that kind of stuff.
That's why people like them continue to live. It must be.
Yeah, their luck will run out eventually. So, is there a monstrosity I need to worry about
No.
if
We
my
took care
plans
of it.
go according to plan?
Well, it certainly didn't go according to plan, but the death part happened, which was most important.
Well, at least that's not going to be a problem. And I was afraid that it was going to kill all of you, and then that was just going to be a problem out there in the forest to deal with.
Yeah, a giant beastie.
Causing more little beasties. Absolutely dreadful.
Well, it's good to see that that was dealt with.
Indeed.
Anyway, I'm going to see if there's someone I need to meet is going to show up tonight.
Who's that?
You'll see.
One of your family, your kin?
Maybe in the future.
Oh. Girlfriend?
Close.
You are a man of secrets, you are.
I mean,
Still
you'll probably get to see.
Hopefully there'll be a lot less, bitey than the previous member.
Those Ica beasties are so creepy.
There's a good chance. The crazy things have happened. And I guess Caleb will head out to the main area to see if they show up.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything?
No. Just
Okay.
gonna head back to my room and go to sleep.
All right. Lucian, as you return to your bedroom from the failed experiment, who would you like to message?
Going to message Lucifer.
Okay.
Oh, that one coming.
Oh yeah.
Didn't we have a talk about this?
Yes, did.
Multiple times, yes.
Multiple times. But don't worry, it's fine. I'm going to say, these people are starting to rub off on me. That or more like that than I want to admit. How do you deal with your mistakes? Because I keep making mistakes, and it's weird.
There's a thoughtful pause. You know the message was received, but obviously with no visual indication, you have no idea of what's happening.
What's happening? Yeah.
But eventually you get a somewhat tentative response. I deal with my mistakes mostly by destroying them, what few times I make them. He pauses, and you initially think that may be the end of the message, but he continues somewhat quietly. And what I don't destroy, I find a way to make useful. You know what Dad always said? There are no mistakes, there's just opportunities.
I look at the vial in my hand, just kind of circle the goop around. She's trying to decide if she wants to say something or not, but I think she's just gonna sit quietly and just think about that.
Okay.
Oh, all the red flags.
Why are you talking to him again?
He's my
She
brother.
has family issues.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, this evil person whose name literally means Lucifer. I love him.
He's my brother. He's my identical twin. What do you want from me?
His name is Lucifer!
I know!
And her name is Lucienne.
And my name is Lucienne. Lucifer, it literally means
At least you
bringer
can get
of
away
light.
with like Lucian, like, oh, it's a derivative. Fucking Lucifer!
I mean, to be fair, in y'all, that name doesn't mean the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing in y'all.
I'm
So.
saying as a writer.
But I mean, it also just means bringer of light. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
if I remember,
Lucifer, technically.
I think technically that was his name before the fall.
Yeah, Lucifer.
yeah, he was an angel, but then he fell.
And then when he fell, he became Lucifer.
I'm sure that's not relevant.
Yeah. Not at all. Not at all.
I'm sure that's not what I meant by when I created him.
And you created him.
Well, it was a joint effort.
I was like, you're the mother?
Really, Austin?
That's not a question
Austin.
I want to answer to.
Austin, move yourself to the joke channel.
It wasn't a joke.
It was an observation. You all part to your rooms. Lucian, reflecting on the fallout of your latest experiment. Caleb, nice and clean, and you stay down in the lodge for the bulk of the night, even as most of the traffic becomes less and less frequent, but what there is more and more jittery. People who seem to be deliberately trying to stay awake for as long as possible. But you see no sign of the person you're looking for at this time. Tuco, you settle into your rage and sleep quietly in your room. Yes, Caleb?
Is his uncle or cousin still up?
You see that your uncle and Fenya are both downstairs.
I'm guessing if he was going to come at night, he probably would have already come.
Fenya kind of leans against the counter and gives you a kind of sympathetic nod. Probably. It'll be fine. Go get some sleep. If we see him, we'll tell him you were here.
If you see him, I don't know. Do you think it'd be fine for me to meet him out here? Do you think we should, with everything going on, meet Summers, like out of sight?
She kind of nods her head towards the back door. Whenever he has stock, he comes by the back alleys to make deliveries. If you want, you can meet him out there. That's where we're keeping you guys' cart, anyway.
Very well. I guess I'll go get some rest then.
Zephyr, you see to the business we discussed. And you all get a long rest.
Hey.
Cool. I'm also going to fiddle with some of my spells.
Of course. And Tuco, roll me a d6.
4.
Alright, your fireworks launcher is completely recharged.
No, I said 4 what?
To recharge your fireworks.
Oh.
I got a 6, but I was like 4 for
Well,
what?
They only used it once, so wouldn't the evil make it in?
Oh, they used it. I believe they've used it a couple times, haven't they?
Twice.
Yeah, they used it twice. So yeah. All right. Your fireworks launcher recharges. You're back up to full, and one by one, you all trickle down into the lodge for a somewhat awkward, given the circumstances, regrouping.
I can think
Caleb
that
sees
as
elves, he's
soon as I
like,
had
"Oh,
my,
it's good to see you didn't get yourselves killed."
as soon as he had his 4 hours, he would have been down there drinking at the bar.
All right.
Do something stupid like.
Oh, very stupid. I honestly didn't expect him to come back.
I made a mistake. I won't be doing that again.
Well, that's
That's
good.
good.
Live and learn. Elves have many opportunities to do that, seeing how they don't, wither away and die. So with an elf, as long as it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
At this, you kind of get a small smile from her.
Yeah, but doesn't make you drunker as he takes another drink.
Matt and
One might tab up too much.
So, do you have a plan also, brother?
Well, I have someone that I need to meet. So, and then from there I'll have a full plan going forward. I'll have hopefully everything I need to really start putting something in action. You're free to do as you wish, which I'm sure you were going to do anyways. Because that's just how you are.
Correct.
And it seems like the elves are going to be drowning their sorrows and failures.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be there when you need me. Just let me know.
I'm not planning on getting drunk right now.
You need my strength, not my brains. Or lack thereof. And he says it's all with a slur. He's been drinking for a bit.
Is Caleb's uncle running the bar again?
Yes.
How
I'm
many has he had?
Enough.
Hey, I'm paying, so I'll keep drinking till I'm done.
He kind of snorts a little bit.
At the rate you're going, it'll probably be until you drop. And my uncle doesn't want to have to clean that mess up.
Hey,
He's a
I
busy
handle
man.
my alcohol very well. Unlike some of y'all.
Everyone has their limit.
Oh yeah, I'll probably drop. I'm not gonna make a mess at least. Mom taught me better than that one.
And want to soil the floorboards.
Hey Matthew, out of curiosity, is there something like his uncle is known? Is there something that Caleb's uncle is known for in, like, say, dealing with troublemakers?
Yes, you know that he keeps a great club behind the bar that he'll bust out and whack anyone who causes problems with. And if that fails and they need to resort to more permanent solutions, you, of course, know your cousins to have a pair of wrist blades and a set of ankle blades, respectively.
I'll have you know that my uncle here has a very mean swing, so don't give him any trouble.
I won't get in any trouble that's not started by somebody else.
I mean, preferably not trouble to begin with, but frankly, I'm not gonna.
Don't worry. I'm not planning on drinking. So I'll make sure that he behaves.
I guess in the meantime, Caleb will take a seat and keep his watch, because he said that he'll show up someday or another.
Okay.
I'm going to just continue my research.
Okay.
Zephyr's gonna leave.
Okay. Tuco, what's his?
He's gonna drink maybe another 4 shots or so. Then he's gonna probably go back up to his room, where he will sleep off the alcohol for a while
Okay.
until he's needed.
Okay. Tuco, anything from you?
Yeah, Tugo's just gonna probably drink a little and then head to bed.
Okay. For those of you who are drinking, unless you want to order something fancy, just your basic type ale types type drinks here will run you 4 coppers a shot.
Yeah, he's aiming for really strong stuff.
If you want the strongest stuff they have, a glass of it will be 3 gold.
Yeah, he'll probably have gotten about, by the time he's done, he's looking around 10 shots, so that'll be 30 gold.
Okay.
Wow, at this rate, he might keep the lodge going on his own.
Your friends are bringing me business, if nothing else. Just need to see if trouble follows behind.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time trouble starts showing up, you'll have already enacted your escape plan.
He just kind of gives a small nod, and Fenya kind of slips around the bar and makes her way out the back door, while Fenka just kind of acts as or rather, while Fenya basically acts as a bouncer to the club.
You don't want to get on her bad side. She can give you a pretty good prick.
Zephyr, as you make your way out into town, what are you doing?
Time to go to the castle.
Okay then.
Going to the castle, are we?
Yeah.
He's had enough of Disneyland.
All I hear in my head is fucking Billy Crystal from Princess Bride. Have fun storming the castle.
Okay.
And I don't know which is worse, Zephyr's idea or the failed attempt.
Let's find out. Maybe he'll pull it off.
Knowing Zephyr, he'll probably just turn invisible.
And even then, he's stealthy enough that he can just go invisible without the suit.
He transcends reality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll first try to make sure I'll look for the guard, see what kind of security the castle has.
Make a perception check.
Perception. Okay. Ooh, man. That would be a 23.
Zephyr, as you make your way out into Rosewick, you make your way to the
Oh, wait.
east.
Never mind. The 30-20.
Thank you. You make your way to the east side of town, and you start to survey the castle and its potential security. Of course, you already know from living there fairly well what the security's like, but it's of course good to get a better view of what you're getting into.
See if they've upgraded or did some changes.
And indeed, changes have in fact been made, but not in the way you expected. While security on the city itself is far tighter than you're familiar with, it appears that's come at something of a cost. As you approach the castle, you notice that the guard presence there is not non-existent, but fairly small. There are guards positioned at the front gates, and you imagine there may be patrols inside, but you notice that the usual things you would see, like people on the rooftop towers, or regular patrols going around, do not appear to be present. And you also notice that parts of the castle itself are starting to fall into disrepair. However, while the castle itself is falling apart, you notice that there's a lot of decorative things that hadn't been there before. As mentioned, you can see spiked urns, dragon claw lampposts, these guard dog statues, fancy dragon gargoyles. Yet all this fancy architecture is belied by thick bushels of ivy growing up the walls and parts of the castle that appear to be actively crumbling.
The security is pretty laxed. Place is falling apart. I guess, with security lax, I want to save my invisibility, so I would like to try to, I guess try to find like a spot on the walls that would basically like a corner of the wall, like a side of the wall that isn't like watched a lot, and try to like sneak up it.
Zephyr?
Hello?
Hello?
I was asking how high up you wanted to go.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Didn't come through for me. I guess just until he can get to like a ledge or something, or like a just either a window or like just essentially a point where he can get his feet on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, and you still have your boots that let you do the climbies?
Yeah, I was like, should I go speed or climby? But if I'm gonna be stealthing around, climbing's better.
Okay. Roll stealth.
Yes. Rolling. So, natural 20, 28.
Zephyr, you spend some time casing the castle before, satisfied, you find a corner that kind of loops around to the back gardens, and once you're confident that no patrols appear to be moving through here, you kind of gecko to the side of the castle and start to just make your way up.
Little plop noises.
Yeah, basically. From your position, there is a small window on the first floor and a much larger one on the second floor. If you move to the front of the castle, there is also the third and fourth floors you can access.
I guess I'll look inside the big window, see where that leads into.
Make a perception check.
Alright. Dirty 20.
Zephyr, as you climb your way up the wall, you move past the first floor and onto the second, kind of scaling up essentially a chimney on this side. And taking a look into the larger window. By your best estimate, it appears that you are currently at the wall of the castle library. And looking inside, there does not appear to be anyone present right now, at least at a glance. However, as you kind of watch and survey it for a moment, you do see a humanoid figure dressed in orange Tabedran garments with a hood pulled over their head, just kind of idly pacing around a bookshelf and reading some of the books. But they appear to be the only person inside.
I guess, like me. I will. I think how now. I would like to kind of probably get to like a corner, like hidden from the window, and just try to see if I can push the window just open a bit, just see if it has any my main concern if it squeaks or anything. Essentially, I would
I will just tell you right now, these are not the kind of windows that open like that.
just display.
Yeah.
They're fixed.
I'd have to cut it open.
Mm-hmm. Or break it.
Then I guess could I go higher? Is there any essentially balcony?
Yes, there are the towers at the very top, which, while they don't have balconies in the traditional sense, you do recall that from the rooftops, you and your mother would be able to access the second floor hallway. So there is an openable window on the second floor, but you'll have to cross the roof to get over to that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of Assassin's Creed your way to the opposite side you climbed up, basically.
Let's go.
So yeah, you can either take the towers or take the roof. Or if you're feeling particularly bold, you can take the chimney. If you want to Santa Claus this.
Hey,
I just like to imagine he gets down there, right? And like everyone just has their little spears pointed at him. He's like, "Hey, who wants
I'm
presents?
home.
Yes, who wants presents?"
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Well, the chimney does, wouldn't be bad as long as it's not lit. He'll probably go to the tower.
Okay. I will say, just as a freebie, you lived here. You know that one tower is typically lived in by the king, and the other is lived in by the queen. Do you have any preference on which one you take?
The king.
Okay. Making your way onto the rooftop from the chimney, you scuttle your way across the dilapidated roof tiles and make your way to one of the two towers that rise and loom over all of Rosewick. You scale high up the walls, climb atop the gargoyles, and I will say immediately you notice something. One of the windows of the king's room, because his windows are, again, those decorative ones that don't open. The queen's were the ones that do. However, you notice, yeah, one of the king's windows is broken.
I guess I'm gonna have to see what's inside. What's going on?
Problem blind, Zephyr.
You just gonna dive in?
I'm gonna look inside before diving in, just peek his head.
Roll stealth and then roll perception.
Stealth. Hey. Okay. Stealth is good. 27.
Okay.
Is it good enough?
Is dirty 20.
Okay.
This is the king of thieves we're talking about here.
And I need to get to there we go. Had to get to the right music for this. Zephyr, as you slink and find your footing atop one of the draconic gargoyles, you peek your head through the broken window, which you remember once contained this beautiful, elegant stained glass. And you've seen the king's bedroom once or twice growing up. And despite everything about the man, it's actually a relatively humble setup. Beneath the windows, he has a work desk, which, from your position close to it, you can already see a map of the surrounding region and some plans of which places he wants to hit. On the other side of the room, you can see what appears to be an alchemical lab and various things of that nature, various tools and workshops. And in the back wall, kind of distant from it all, is the curtained and closed off fine royal king's bed, in which lays your mother and father. For those who were not here when the king was first described, as well as the queen, I will take the opportunity to do so now. They are both quite elderly. The king is a small, gnomish figure, gnome definitely being somewhere in his bloodline. His eyes are beady and dark, his teeth like needles. His hair is wild and untamed. Once a fine ginger red, but slowly beginning to gray with age. However, he dresses in royal fineries, this fine white suit and black gloves, beneath which he wears a fine silken shirt that is the Tabedran orange. You can see his cane and hat are left leaning against the wall near him. Next to him in the bed, sitting upright, not laying alongside him, with a hand clasped in his, is your mother. Compared to her husband, she's a very tall, at least compared to him, woman. She was always fairly short, and age hasn't done her any favors in that regard. But a relatively confident woman with colorful hair that she's dyed to avoid making age obvious. Her hair, looking at her now, is dyed in this kind of almost like ice cream-esque pattern of strawberry pinks, chocolate browns, and vanilla whites. And
some little old lady with that hairstyle.
no, Barry, yeah, she's like a clean 4 foot. Like, she was short to begin with, and then age only shrunk her. So yeah, she's. You see her parasol leans against the wall next to her, and interestingly, you notice a much newer looking version of the king's hat. She's wearing a simple bedrobe that kind of loosely hangs around her shoulders, and she stares down at the king. Her eyes are, for again those who weren't here, are heterochromic, one blue, one brown. And she stares down at the king with wide, unblinking eyes. And Zephyr, you watch as your father, laying in bed, doesn't look at her, just kind of smiles, and he... And as he leans over, she immediately leans over her side of the bed and grabs a bucket and holds it in front of him, and you manage to just catch sight of him vomiting black into the bucket.
I fucking called it! Swear to God, Zephyr.
As he
Listen, if you don't take your tail down and get your fucking party, I will kill you myself.
You watch as your father, enfeebled by disease and age, just clings to more to the bucket than his wife for support. And you watch as your mother touches his back, and you can't see what she's saying, at least at a glance, but you can see she's moving her hands in sign language to sign against his back so that he can more feel what she's saying than see it.
Yeah, she can't speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your mother was always mute growing up. She can talk, she just doesn't. Yeah, she's mute. As you watch your parents, your mother comforting your ailing father, you sit on the draconic gargoyle outside the broken window. What would you like to do?
How big is the broken part? Like, how could I fit inside?
It's fairly small, but yes, you could.
Zephyr is also fairly small.
Yeah. You could comfortably fit in, but it is going to be a bit tricky to not gut yourself on the glass.
I mean, he is isn't he kind of scaly?
Yeah, but glass is glass. You can still stab something with scales.
I mean, I know alligators and shit can bounce bullets.
Zephyr, what do you do? All right, we'll come back to you. Yeah, do you need a minute, or are you good?
No, they were just asking about, because apparently, Saturday's, cinnamon, celebration, moving thing.
Okay.
There's a whole thing going on Saturday.
Right.
But,
No worries. So, what do you do?
You know what? I'm gonna knock on the window.
You knock against the glass, and Are you allowing yourself to be seen?
Yes.
Your father doesn't react, but your mother immediately, her head snaps up like a whip, and she whirls her head to look towards you. But she kind of blinks, and her eyes go wide as she sees you. And she slowly slides out of the bed, planting a kiss on your father's head before she goes, and grabs her umbrella and puts what, you now realize is a new but otherwise perfect imitation of your father's favorite hat. And she strides towards you and levels the parasol at you. And she initially takes on a very stern, almost threatening gesture before you see a slight smile, and she clicks the switch on the parasol and it opens, and she bows and holds it up to basically act as a platform to allow you to climb inside the room safely.
Alright. I guess I will accept the invitation and start climbing in.
Your mother gently guides you into the room and deposits you on the ground, the parasol snapping shut with a twirl, and she, not taking her eyes off of you, goes back to the bed and sits next to your father and puts a hand on his neck and kind of massages his shoulder with her free hand as she taps on his head, and he kind of blearily turns to look at her, and she puts a hand over his heart and signs out, but with them both facing you, you can see what she's signing. Our son has returned.
I guess Zephyr will sign. Zephyr will sign saying, "How bad is it?"
What's his? After an afternoon of drinking, you, as mentioned, make your way upstairs to sleep off the rest. Lucian, you stay at the bar, kind of nervous and jittery, but not taking anything to calm your nerves. Tuco, you enjoy a few drinks, courtesy of Caleb's uncle, and he makes some small talk with you as Caleb just watches the surrounding lodge and waits.
Lucian is actually studying her stuff, and the way she's writing, you can kind of like tell that she's angry. It's like, I don't know if you've ever like seen anybody who's like angry writing.
Oh,
but, like,
I've done it.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean, right?
Mm.
It's very passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive towards.
I feel like it's just a general passive aggressiveness. It's not really towards anyone
Yeah,
specific.
it's kind of one of those, like, you're mad about something, but you don't want to talk about it, so you just kind of act vaguely mad at everyone until someone asks you what's wrong.
Yeah, it's exactly that, yes. No, you get it.
However, after a few hours, not a whole lot of note initially happens. Music players come in and out. Tuco, you spot a few people who you notice that are almost like kind of traveling in small pairs or even trios, and whenever one kind of nods off at their table, either from just too much drink or just they're exhausted from a day of work, their friends will kind of elbow them to keep them awake. You notice quite a few Tabedrans are sporting bags under their eyes. But after a few hours, you all kind of, those of you who are downstairs, so Lucian, Tuco, and Caleb, all jolts almost instinctively as you hear the back door slam open. And you hear this kind of rapid fire series of swears in Yavik, as what sounds like a male voice begins making its way through the back and up to the main lodge area, and stepping quickly with this kind of like rapid, jittery stride. You all see a new humanoid figure take form in the back doorway of the Bear's Lodge. You see a relatively young-looking boy, although significantly taller and bigger in build than Caleb. His skin is pale, his hair is a Tabedra ginger, but kind of messy and short, as if it's kind of poorly self-done. About reaches his, like, just to his shoulders, maybe a little bit past. And Tuco, you notice he's wearing this very baggy and ill-fitting leather coat, as if it was stolen off of a much larger man. And you notice on each sleeve, about midway down, are 5 circular holes cut into it. And you quickly realize what that's for, as you see his pale fingers slide through the holes, kind of midway down the sleeve, which is clearly too long for him to stick all the way down. He kind of looks around, and Lucian, you notice he's wearing a pair of dark circular glasses that appear to be medical in nature. And sure enough, Miezdu, Caleb's uncle, gives a click of the tongue, and the kid immediately whips towards him and levels an accusatory finger at him. And in this low, scratchy, and definitely kind of, I guess the best way to say it would be slummy, accented Yavik, he kind of quietly begins to scold the man who's twice to 3 times his size, pointing an accusatory finger up at him and poking into his chest, and just, "There's a cart out back. Have you been getting deliveries from someone else?" And Miezdu kind of holds up his large bear-like hands and, "Just a delivery of fish, Dimitri. I promise I'm not reneging on a deal well struck."
Matthew, what color are his eyes? Just curious.
You can't see them from behind the glasses.
Okay.
And he kind of looks around the lodge, but you notice he kind of tilts his head so that his ear is always kind of pointing perpetually upward, and, "Business still going well? Well as it can be. I'm going to be closing up shop soon. Then who else am I going to sell the king's wine to? I'm sure you'll figure something out, Dimitri." And Caleb...
Is Caleb sitting at, like, the bar right now?
Yes. He's literally right in front of you.
Caleb will be like, "Well, I guess Caleb's going to see what happens." Caleb's going to be like, "That might be partially my fault."
Caleb, as you say that, you notice Fenka, who was supposed to be watching the back, slinks in with a mischievous grin on her face, and she gives you a wink. And as Fenya slinks away from her position as the bouncer and they meet in the middle of the lodge, they lean against each other, and while you're not looking at them, you can clearly hear them say to each other, "I didn't think he'd actually do it. Oh no, that's why I sent him in."
Caleb just gives them a look of, like, thanks.
"Always happy to help, cousin."
You're just so honest.
Dimitri
Does he recognize the voice?
Yeah, Dimitri kind of cranes his neck and listens, and he turns to you, Caleb, and tilts his head, the side of his head towards you. "You're not a regular here. Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?"
I can't believe you forgot the voice, and I'll have you know that I was a regular here for a while until someone else gave me new options. Dimitri?
You see his eyes kind of widen, and Lucian, this does let you see enough of them to see they are a milky pale white. And he feels his way around the side of the bar, and finding his way to the source of the voice, he
Caleb
immediately...
help him out a little bit.
Oh no, he doesn't need it. He lunges and pulls you into a hug, and as he kind of similar to what your uncle had done, funny enough, grabbing you by the shoulder and pushing you back as his hands start to kind of do this like ghostly dance around your face and chest.
Caleb's used to it by now.
Yeah. His brow kind of furrows, and he lets out another small series of swears and Yavik, and frowns at you. And
Caleb's gonna be like, I'm sorry that I didn't keep the promise I made. Things kind of happened quickly.
Well, I knew you were always too stubborn to die, but you could have at least sent a letter.
Yeah, I didn't exactly have access to that either, between, monsters attacking the city I was in, and then being on the road, and dealing with dark elves and lizard people and giant dragons, and I have a lot to tell you about.
It sounds like it. You disappear for a year and then have the adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to make it that long.
He kind of tilts his head, and after a moment of silence, just kind of puts his head against yours, and the important thing is that you're here now. Wait, and he again kind of pushes you back and looks you up and down. Why are you here? Doesn't the princess want you dead?
Oh, honestly, at this point, she probably needs to get in line.
Yeah, take a number, lady.
You're not the regular here either. Who are you?
They are traveling companions.
Oh, so you found the party after all. Here, I thought you didn't have the social skills.
Oh, he barely does.
He's got more social skills than most of us.
There's
Oh,
the one who spends all day getting into fights.
I'll have you know that business is booming. And he pulls his glasses down
I hear
to allow...
You found yourself a sneaky way in. Were you just trying to find ways in with me? Is that what this was about?
As he pulls his glasses down, allowing all of you to see his milky eyes, Tuco, you notice around his right eye appears to be blackened by a recent fight, and around his left, you immediately can tell that someone broke a bottle and attempted to take his eye out, but only managed to do superficial damage to the skin.
I imagine it wouldn't be too far of a stretch to recognize that he's blind.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't let that
Alright.
fool you. If he knows where you are, he can give you quite a hit.
Oh, I bet. Are you... I don't mean to sound rude, but... Are you... Who are
Yes,
you?
I was born blind. Yes, I can find my way around just fine. No, I do not need your help, and only if you're buying. Did I cover everything?
Actually, yes.
You've gotten that down. You've really gotten that down since I was gone.
Believe me, you get used to it. Yes, I found a sneaky way into the castle. Turns out that they forgot to block the wine cellar. And since we're not raiding anymore, we got to get our supplies from somewhere. I figure the king won't notice it's missing.
Look at you, bagman turned planner.
Caleb, aren't you going to introduce us?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Kinda forgot.
No, it's okay.
Everyone, this is Dimitri.
Dmitry Dragoslav, a pleasure.
And
From
we
the
have-
sounds of it, you were just as desperate as Mr. Tabedra over here.
Yeah, so I guess Caleb will kind of guide him around the others who are present. This
He ca-
is
He kind of playfully baps at your hand and takes a step towards Tuco. It sounded like you wanted to ask me something. Do you mind if I, and he wiggles his fingers in your direction.
Oh, sure. Just don't touch it in my pockets, you might blow up.
No promises. And he immediately starts
It's a
kind
good
of...
thing you said that because you do not believe how many people he's fooled like that.
Oh, I wasn't born yesterday.
He starts kind of gently tapping and feeling your face and shoulders, and as he does so, he kind of mumbles to himself and gives you a smile. Well, I'm getting used to you. You had a question for me?
No, not at all.
Who's talking then?
He gives
I thought I heard someone too.
He gives a shrug and shakes his head. Sorry, still a little on edge. I just got out of the sewers not that long ago.
The sewer?
Does he smell?
No, actually.
Where did you
Caleb
come
was
from?
just like Caleb was just like, you've been in the sewers.
Yeah, I can just imagine Lucian just like reaches over and just like does a nonchalant sniff.
He gives a grin.
You don't smell like it. Thank
Well,
God.
I wouldn't. I wasn't the one doing the hard part.
Oh, who have you roped into this plan of yours?
I didn't have to do any roping. Unlike you, I stay in touch with my friends. And he does like a playful pout in your direction.
Caleb kind of does a more real pout.
Yeah.
He still feels
How?
bad about. I still feel bad about that.
Oh, and believe me, I'm going to milk it for all it's worth.
You
He pats
remind
you
me
on
of
the shoulder,
something.
Tuco, and he approaches you, Lucian, again, wiggles his finger. May I, miss?
just don't put fingers where they don't belong. Like
sti-
Tuco said, I was born at night, just not tonight.
That was good.
He
That
kind of,
was-
yeah, he kind of
Caleb's like,
sticks his
that was
tongue out
your
at
old,
you.
that was like one of your oldest tricks. People would see, oh, he's blind. He needs to be able to feel things, and then next thing they know, they've lost much of their gold.
As he kind of gently, again, kind of ghosts his fingers around your face, Lucian, you notice he lingers a bit on the ears, and kind of glances over his shoulder to you, Caleb. So, what brings you back here besides me?
What? Do I need more of a reason than that?
Oh.
He kind of purses his lips and kind of briefly freezes in his examination of Lucian, and after a moment just playfully responds, well, apparently you needed one, otherwise you would have been here sooner.
Look, it's not easy getting these people to agree on anything. She's half the problem.
I'm not mad at you, Caleb, relax. Just, what is the saying? Chain yanking?
Yes.
Thank you, that chain.
Yes,
Yes,
that.
I know.
Your accent is not familiar to me. Where do you come from?
Oh, you know, below your feet. Hence why I was interested when you said you're in the sewers.
Oh, you're a Gosian?
No.
They're a halfling.
From
Well, I
the
gathered
Underdark.
that much, but you don't see halflings in the Underdark that much.
Well, they're one of those Underdark halflings.
The what? That's a thing?
Tuco
I
just,
thought I heard something about it somewheres.
Tuco
Yeah,
just gives a sort of strained smile. Yep, it certainly is.
He kind of looks baffled, but kind of shakes his head, and kind of pats you on the shoulder, Tuco, and as he passes you by, he kind of looks at you, and you can't tell if he's joking or not, but he kind of looks to you, and, for the record, you're not actually going to, take over the surface world or anything, right?
Tuco just smiles. We'll have to see how things keep going.
Right. Well, just so you know, I go to church every day, and I frequently give to the poor. So, and he gives you a thumbs up and a smile.
Don't lie, kiddo.
Well,
You're
I'm
to
the poor.
Tabedran. You're to Tabedran. You ain't fooling nobody.
Hey, I count as the poor. I'm a poor blind boy. And he does a little lip quiver.
Nothing quite like a bit of self-charity, eh?
It's my favorite kind of charity.
You're funny.
Lucian,
Caleb
there-
will.
if his hands are still on her face, she has like this very like. It's like that kind of look like when you meet somebody that reminds you of somebody.
He gives a grin and immediately pops up onto a bar stool next to Caleb, and stretching his arms out, he brings Caleb into a kind of one-armed hug and gives you a smirk, Tuco. And, well, you, and he points to you, Caleb, have failed to answer my question.
I was trying to, but they kept interrupting me.
Oh, I just like knowing who you're traveling with. It's not every day you see a human, a halfling, and an elf traveling together.
Yeah, there's another elf too. He's just getting drunk. But
Yeah, it's all
anyway,
up somewhere.
the reason I
He-
came back is I decided that. Well, it's kind of a long story. I'm gonna have to fill you in on a lot of things. What do you know anything about the goings on in the world? Like what happened in Mercurial?
Just about everyone's heard about it.
So basically, alright, Caleb will fill him in on the
Mm-hmm. On the
basically
what
the
the
important
adventure,
parts.
the adventure so far.
Yeah,
5
and then
hours.
once he
later.
fills him in, he's gonna be like, "And so I decided that I needed to do something to try and. Originally, my plan was to simply try and convince Father that Tabedran needed to act against these people.
How'd that go?
Well, I haven't talked. Well, I heard he was sick and dying, and so then I was like, well, shit, that complicates things. And now I find out that there's a. Now I find out that there's this new person involved in the family and all that, and now it's like, great. I'm probably going to have to do it myself. Something I really did not have an interest in, as I had told you before.
He kind of tilts his head and thinks for a moment, and look, there's not exactly an easy way to ask this, so I'm just going to be blunt with you, honey. Did you actually kill Mr. Wicker?
I didn't know who he was until it was too late. He attacked my group, and I had to take action, and, you know, bullets move faster than thought. Next thing I know, he's dead, and there's nothing I can do about it. I do regret it. Not just because it complicates things.
So, let me just make sure I got this story straight.
I have to deal with that part first.
You, as well as your adopted brother, who I've heard about but never had the pleasure to meet, are traveling alongside a boogeyman brought to life, and he points to Tuco. One of those
But
mad
Tuco wasn't
scientists.
part of the group yet.
A mad scientist from Wicket, a Geogran colonel, and a Blackthorn archer, and you're trying to fight against a bunch of people, all of whom are supposed to be dead, and they're using this Ichor stuff to do whatever it is they're doing exactly. Not exactly clear on that. And you think the king has something to do with it?
I don't think the king has something to do with it, but I think that this is a fight that Tabedran can't just ignore any. And if we pick the wrong side, it's going to be a disaster. It's, I've seen what they do. The king of Mycariod was one of the Concord, and he sacrificed his entire city to this experiment. You don't think they'll do the same to a bunch of bandits if it so pleased them? I mean, look at all the people that are apparently falling asleep and never waking up. You know how tough it is to use that kind of magic, because I told you we've determined it has to be magic.
He kind of looks to Miezdu, who's still tending the bar. I'm guessing this is why you're leaving, big guy? Miezdu just, he initially nods, but then after kind of a moment of realization, kind of clears his throat and... Yes, it's not safe for my family here anymore. Hey, from the looks of it, this kid kind of bosses him around a lot of the time, so... He mumbles a small prayer in Yavik and cranes his neck.
Can I tell who he's praying to?
You can tell that he is praying to the Yavik deity of night.
Okay.
So, but I'm hoping that maybe I'm hoping that maybe there might be a way that I don't have to do the thing I really don't want to have to do. But I know I can't let this newcomer get in. If I could prevent that and ensure someone I can trust is there, then I think I can still push Tabedran in a right way.
Right. Well...
If not, then, well, fuck it, I'm going to have to do it myself.
So what's the plan, then?
Well... I need to get to the bottom of what this sleeping thing is, for one, and what has affected the king. They will be very important for making sure things go the right way. And then I guess I'm gonna need to figure out where the others stand. I know where the newcomer stands, and that honestly makes dealing with them a lot easier. Sounds like if I just simply make myself presentable, they will bring themselves to me, seeking their revenge, and then that problem will be dealt with.
He kind of quirks a brow and... Right. You're making this all sound a lot less complicated than it is.
Well, you've been in there, stealing stuff. I wonder if you heard anything. That might help me fully understand what I'm dealing with.
He kind of scratches the back of his head and... Well, I haven't exactly been on speaking terms with the staff, except for Stanley, but...
Is Stanley the one that was mentioned already?
Yes, Stanley Linz.
Yes, he's been mentioned before. I think I might need to have a word with him.
He's the one who showed me the way in. He thinks for a moment and... I'm not sure how much I'm... Wait. Miezdu, do you still have some of that wine I got you from the King's Cellar? He gives a nod and, Dimitri immediately kind of taps his fingers on the bar, and, as Miezdu goes to pour a shot, Dimitri kind of clears his throat and... The bottle, I need the bottle. And he holds his hand out for him, and Miezdu just gives it to him, and he... feels it over in his hand, seemingly confirming that it's the right one. And I can't read the label on the bottle. It's not, But I overheard from somebody I was selling it to. And he holds it out to all of you. This was in the King's Cellar. It's supposed to be a really fine vintage, according to Stanley. Where does it say it's from?
I'd take a look at it.
Yeah, Caleb looks at it too.
Tuco, Caleb, Lucian, As you all look at the bottle, it appears to be a bottle of a orange cider of some kind. And
Not exactly wine for one.
I can't exactly tell, alright?
Caleb, that was very not cash money of you.
And you can see a very, very nice illustration of what appears to be a pumpkin farm. And the branding of the bottle indicates that this is cider grown on Tabedran farms.
And Tabedran Farms shows itself again.
Tabedran farms? That's where this is from? Ah, of course Stanley lied to me. Would have been selling it for double if I'd known that.
Well, we have, I think we definitely need to have a word with this Stanley. What was the other thing that Stanley was connected to?
He's been selling weapons on the black market.
I think we need to have a word with Stanley because, doesn't it? I hope that it doesn't turn out to be a bunch of conveniences. Because, the last thing we heard about Tabedran Farms seems to be linked to you-know-who in the lake.
You think the Aquatarchus has something to do with this? They've never put someone to sleep before.
Well,
They are an old... According to the legend, they are a very old and powerful thing. They might be capable of the kind of magic that could put people to sleep like that.
and if people are ingesting it, it would make it very easy.
Remind me not to drink the water.
Maybe I would say definitely stay away from this stuff, because if it is a bunch of conveniences, if there's something painting the wine cellar, it certainly would be a very good way for it to be distributed amongst the population to let somebody steal it and sell it.
Could I grab the bottle?
As you tug on it, he kind of clenches it on reflex, but then realizing what you're doing, he just lets it go. And in the meantime, while you're looking over it, Dimitri looks to Miezdu and you didn't exactly correct me. And Miezdu kind of holds up a hand guiltily, and in my defense, I have a business to run. If you knew how much that stuff was worth, I never would have made a profit on it. Asshole. He leans back, and Lucian, as you look over the bottle, do you have something special in mind?
Could I ask Mezdu for like a glass or something? Do you have like a translucent glass?
Trans what?
So, also known as glass. She means clear, as in glass's natural state.
Miezdu goes to fetch a shot glass.
Just make sure it's a particularly clean one, so it's really see-through.
Wide smirk, and going to have to drop the fancy talk while you're here. We are just humble, uneducated thieves, after all.
Yeah, Lucian.
She just kind of looks at Dimitri. I don't dumb myself down.
Yes, it is one of your greatest flaws.
Oh no, I disagree. I think it comes to her naturally.
He is an Alephakir.
I was curious on how you figured that out.
Well, it was a lot of really difficult detective work, mostly. From the subtle construction of your cheekbones, the sound of your voice, that specific accent and cadence you have, and also whenever my boyfriend just told me.
You get a small.
What is your last name?
Alificure? Yes.
That's the thing about last names. You don't just get those for free.
I only told you mine because my family's no one important.
Yeah, mine might be up in the air right now.
Is he back with the glass?
Yeah, Miazdu puts a relatively clean shot glass in front of you.
So I'm gonna sit down at the bar and I'm going to pour a shot of this cider, and I would like to inspect it.
As you do so, I'll say Tuco, being both a chemist and also just having a pretty good sense of smell. As Lucian pours it out, you immediately pick up on a sharp, not unpleasant, just very sharp and overpowering scent of that kind of pumpkin spicy smell.
Yes.
Between that and the kind of yellow-orangish color, you realize this is some form of cider engineered from pumpkin rather than from apples.
Oh, he figured it out pretty quickly when he saw the pumpkin label.
Yeah, it was pretty evident.
Who told you it was wine?
Stanley.
Mate,
You would
This is
think a
better than
cook would
wine.
know the difference.
Oh, I bet that bastard knew. He just knew that if I knew this was Tabedra farm stock, I would have gotten all of it in one trip and then sold it off, well, for gold on the copper.
Is there
Is this
anything?
good or is it bad?
Oh, it's all right. It's mostly the fact that we can't get it anymore.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so looking at it, does it look like there's anything, sus about it?
Make an investigation check.
Cool.
So
I
Caleb's
will.
gonna say to Dimitri, "You really should have maybe gotten one of our other friends to help you with that."
He goes to give you a snarky reply, but then kind of bites his lip and, okay, yeah, you got me on that one.
Let's see. 13.
Looking over it, it's finely aged. You suspect it may have been aged perhaps a little too much, but not to an undrinkable level. It seems like it'd be like a little unpleasant texture-wise, but you imagine it tastes fine. People have clearly been drinking it.
I'm gonna look to Tuco. Are you going to be mad if I take a drink?
Are you kidding? I want a sip too.
Shit, come over here.
My uncles might have to charge you for that.
That's fine. I'll pay for the entire bottle.
Miazdu kind of quirks a brow.
And don't go raising the price just because we know what it is now.
I make no promises.
Charge me whatever you like, sir.
I will charge you fair market price.
It's appreciated.
Yeah, Tuco takes a happy little sippy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna sip it. I'm just gonna shoot it back.
10 gold for the bottle. 10 gold? Are you fucking kidding me?
Caleb just
Go sleep in
goes
the
over to
basement
try
in
and
the cold tonight, mate.
All right, I will give
Matthew.
I've been
him.
selling this for silvers!
I'm gonna.
Oh, you Matthew.
Bastard.
I'm gonna give the guy 10 gold, and then I'm gonna give Dimitri 5 gold.
That's like Caleb is Matthew.
What's up?
You remember that scene? Remember that scene from Hell of a Boss where Moxie got really angry and what was her name?
Millie?
Millie was like calming him down.
Yeah.
Caleb's gonna do that with Dimitri.
Caleb, you start trying to calm him, but Lucian, as you press 5 gold into Dimitri's hand, he feels them to kind of count out and check their value. And as he slides them into his jacket pocket, he clears his throat and, thank you, Dr. Lefikir. I'm gonna kill Stanley.
Happy to help.
As the two of you knock the drinks back, again, the texture is a little unpleasant. It's got that kind of like almost pulpy feel to it, like there's a little bit of solidity to the drink. However, once it actually hits you taste-wise and you get past the unpleasant texture, it's actually pretty nice. pumpkin and, you know, that kind of flavor isn't for everyone, but it's certainly a pleasant and unique taste, if, again, a little overpowering. And especially once you have the whole bottle at your disposal, the smell is powerful.
Does it taste like maybe it's, you know, carrying some kind of magic shit in it?
Make an Arcana check, I guess, to taste magic.
Yeah, can I taste
Yeah, try to
the
see
magic?
if you can taste any magic.
Yeah,
Could I
yeah,
taste
can
the
you
magic?
taste the rainbow?
I would like to taste the magic.
All right, roll Arcana, I guess.
Okay, D&D Beyond, stop.
Taste the magic. You'll
13? What does magic taste like, Matthew?
Tastes like pumpkin.
Oh. Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you know, you just hear Lucian, huh, interesting.
The two of you do some taste-themed experiments while Dimitri calms himself and begins to catch up on his own misadventures with Caleb, as Miezdu continues to supply drinks and tend to the bar, just kind of listening quietly.
Just
as
imagine that
people talk.
Lucian and Tuka are just like comparing notes.
Oh yeah.
back to being friends again.
Yeah, it seems like the party just needs to be tipsy. Like, as long as everyone's tipsy, everyone's friends. The moment anyone sobers up, they're like snapping at each other like dogs.
So Caleb's gonna ask Dimitri. Also, you never even dipped into the stock before?
Well, no, I'm going to be selling it. Besides, I'm too young to drink.
That's
I've never stopped
Caleb
Caleb.
just goes, you think that stopped me when I had the chance?
He kind of glances at you over his shoulder, and it's not about whether it stops me. It's about being responsible. I'm a poor beggar boy. And he again gives you the fucking puppy dog eyes routine.
Caleb's like, how do you even know what puppy dog eyes look like?
Don't you remember? I had you show me.
Oh no, that sounds like
yeah,
a
I remember
story.
that.
His puppy eyes are pretty fucking cute.
Oh no, he's way too good at it for his own good.
He really is.
Okay, Caleb will do a demonstration. Shall I roll performance?
Yeah, no,
You know what? Sure. Yeah, roll performance.
Lucian just has an instinct to just
his
go over there
eyes
and
just
hug
gain
him.
like a fuck ton of sparkles and they get really big in anime.
Sparkle like a
See
like a fucking
performance.
anime character. He's
If only I
sparkle.
was proficient in performance. Do people take proficiency in performance?
Yeah.
Bard
Yeah, all the
too.
time.
I mean, there are people who want to.
Just because it's not useful in combat doesn't mean it's not useful.
Alright, I got an 18.
Melody would fight that it would be for combat.
Well, you're a bard. You all watch as Caleb, his eyes widen, his lip quivers, his cheeks scrunch, and you even see some actually real tears like brimming in the corner of his eyes.
No! Lucian's just like, stop. Put those away.
Zephyr.
Yeah, the funny thing is, a lot of times when people see that, they don't realize that there's a knife behind it.
Ah! I think it looks good on you. You should keep that face on.
Yeah, if he does it enough, it'll get stuck that way.
But be a
That's
little
not-
cutesy. Little mascot for the team.
That's not how it
Zephyr,
Mhm.
you asked the question when we left you off, how bad is it?
Mhm.
We'll pick up there. Your mother sighs, looking to the king, and signs to you. Worse by the day. He doesn't recognize anyone but me. He doesn't remember anything. And what he does remember is getting confused. The only thing he can remember now is me and home.
The fool just kind of like looked down and thought. And he'll sign. He'll kind of just sign like a bunch of a series of questions like, what happened? Who is this new queen, or I guess contender to the throne of sorts? And what are the y'all plans forward?
She's quiet for a moment, and as you ask her so many questions, and after a moment, she speaks, well, in her own way.
Yeah.
It started after Mercurial. They gave him something. They didn't say what. They wouldn't tell us anything. And he said not to worry about it and that he'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
On the trip back, he started getting ill, throwing up black. The new contender is a Gyogran girl, Dilia Halehi. She hates all of us, that much I know. But she hates you and your brother more. She keeps asking to see him, to meet her father. But I keep having to make excuses. Nobody but your sister and me see him anymore. We're the only ones he can still recognize. I can't do that to your brother.
I guess he'll sign. And I guess on the topic of brother, how is or I guess on the topic of family, how are the two?
Her eyes kind of darken and she looks down. Brats. They know what's coming. And I don't know if they care. What they care about is what comes after. She looks out the broken window, and you realize there is one of your questions that she hasn't answered yet. What comes next? If this disease takes him from me, I'm going to find the people that did this. And I will murder them all. I will leave his name burned into this land. Nobody will forget the King of Thieves. And she runs a hand over his arm and stares at him with this just adoring affection.
Zephyr just kind of looks quiet to himself, just. Well, assuming you already know who's responsible.
I do.
I mean, if it's any consolation, I can at least tell you that At least as for now. Caleb and I are doing okay.
She gives a nod. I knew you would. Your father would have told me if something had happened to you.
This definitely catches Zephyr's Zephyr's ear there. How would our father have told you about this? As he kind of looks to the king.
I've been studying it. Your sister's been making notes, figuring out what's wrong with him. Whoever did this to him, the lady in white, he's connected to her. He knows what she knows. If you ask him the right questions, you can get answers. I think all the monsters are like that. But I don't plan to go after the lady yet. There's somebody else that needs to die first.
Who might that be?
Her face takes on an even more hard-set scowl, and you're reminded of the paintings you've seen of your mother, who was said to have at one point in her life been the best assassin in the world. Queen Wyborn. She blinks, and using the illusory properties you presume that you know her to possess, her eyes take on a purplish, aggressive tint. Mixing the blue and brown into a dark, harsh purple as she glares at you. She touched him.
Really, dude?
No, that's our mom there.
Oh yeah.
Well, and frankly, I won't get in your way when it comes to that personally, but
She blinks and her eyes return to normal as she seemingly calms down, and she gives you a smile. I knew you'd understand.
Zephyr kind of like looks down again and just well, I might know I know someone who knows this a lot more, but from their babbles I've gathered at least a little bit of what's going on with father.
She pulls your father into her lap and kind of squeezes him against her, almost like a little teddy bear. And as she rests her chin on his head, she stares at you.
Well, for starters, seems to be there does seem to be a cure of some sorts.
She very gently sets your father to the side, puts a pillow under his head to make sure he's comfortable. He gives her a smile and she returns it. And then she immediately leaps off the bed and nearly tackles you as she plants her hands firmly on your shoulders before pulling them away to sign more in your face than, like, you actually have to kind of crane your neck a bit to actually see what she's saying. What is it? What do I do?
Well, for starters, you could, get off of me. I will tell you everything I know. Isn't much.
She takes a step back, kind of takes a steadying breath, and gets down on one knee so that she can be at least closer to eye level with you. Again, she's fairly short herself, so.
Yeah.
And she signs to you, kind of looking a bit away from you, kind of shyly. Sorry, but thank you. I knew you weren't like these other brats.
Yeah, I have no interest in this throne, but the cure, as far as I know, is complicated. It involves a special material and very precise procedure.
I'll spend whatever price I must. I'll kill whoever I have to. I'll torture it out of somebody if I must. If it saves your father, I'll do anything.
Interesting.
She gives you a smile, but you notice it has a kind of dark tint to it. Please don't play games with me, son. Who do I need to kill to save him?
Well, I don't think you need to kill anyone, but guess I'm doing this. But yeah. I do know someone who proclaims he knows how to do it, and I think might have some way of getting his hands on that material.
Who?
To be honest, his name eludes me, but he's very well known. Where he typically stays in the Shadow Confederacy. Yeah, right. It's the Shadow Confederacy.
Yeah, the Shadow Lily Confederacy.
And he seems like he's part of this whole. Yes, he has connections to the group that our father has been. I guess the butt of the deal.
She looks back to your father, her eyes immediately kind of misting, and it's like when she looks at you, even though she's being nice to you, her expression is this very either neutral or even like sharp and hard. But every time her gaze meets your father, she immediately softens, almost like looking at him just calms her down. And she looks back to you and... What city? Where do I need to go?
I'm going to guess he can't remember.
Well, not fully. Well, I'm trying to think. The name eludes me, but do you know of the pretty sure she's at Tabaxi, or no, she's not. Queen. You know where the president resides?
The capital, Dumbledore.
Really? That's its name?
It's spelled differently, for the record.
Cool. That doesn't sound familiar, so I believe it, but it is one of the. If you get to her, you could probably ask her about I guess he kind of tends to go by the alchemist.
At this, you actually see her eyes flicker a little bit, and she gives a nod. I think I know who you speak of. I'll find him. I'll pry answers out of him, one tooth at a time. She stands up and starts to go towards the wardrobe, but kind of pauses and... I can't leave. Someone needs to watch your father. What if something happens to him and I'm not here? If you're here, that means your brother's not far behind. He's gonna come for him. I know he is.
We're not wrong. He's here.
We didn't know. We didn't know that you were part of that deal with Barbarous. It's not our fault. We thought it was just the elves. They said that's all they wanted. Father did what he did to protect us.
Well. I understand why he did, but do I forgive him for that? I can't say I do.
She turns from the wardrobe and stares down at you, and there's this long, tense stare off. Will you harm him?
As he kind of thinks about this, I will say personally, I will not harm him. But and I guess, since we're getting everything out, as he'll pull out his parasol and kind of like grab it like more to the handle, and he will cut his hand.
She watches, initially with a smile, as you open the parasol, and you can imagine there's a sense of parental pride that you took after her choice of assassination weapon for your own work. But her gaze immediately slackens as you slice into your hand with the bladed tip and begin to bleed ichor black. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
So, Ruka, I want to ask, does the ichor blood feel different from regular blood? Like, have you ever checked that?
Yeah, it basically has a more like kind of gooey, almost like gelatin-esque consistency.
Okay,
and then
so
once
Caleb decides to let Dimitri in, there's actually a way Dimitri can tell.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, if it had been exactly the same, it's like there would have been no way for him to know.
Yeah, it's a different color. That fucking helps a lot, hun. Thanks.
Also, don't let him touch it. Don't do it.
Well, I think as long as it doesn't get in you, right?
Yeah, you guys have touched it safely before without issue.
Yeah, it's just worrisome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, things are getting spicy. I'll admit, I was not expecting someone to find and sympathize with the queen. I was fully expecting
bad
just
guy.
I was fully expecting just bust in, assassinate him, kill her, kill the kids, take the throne.
Well, Caleb only ever talked about possibly killing one person, and it sounds like they would welcome it. If Zephyr, especially if Zephyr tells Caleb any of this, which Caleb will probably ask where he's been, and if he learned anything, and how much is that information
If he tells
cost.
you anything.
True.
Well, Zephyr will probably tell anything if you pay him enough.
Yeah, no, playing as Zephyr's mother, she did have a moment where if Zephyr had given her an answer she didn't like on the whole "are you going to attack your father" question, she was just going to be like, how much do I need to pay you to ensure he's safe?
That's funny.
Now, she knows, she
So-
raised Zephyr from since he was a baby. She knows him.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know.
sounds like she's a little bit more concerned about Caleb the way she was talking.
Well, because Zephyr's loyalty can be bought, yours can't.
Yeah, she knows that Caleb is a little bit more, I guess,
He ain't a sellout.
idealistic.
More hot-headed out of the two.
Yeah, he's not
Both.
a sellout. He's not gonna make Caleb merch.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Resurrect from the grave like a filthy necromancer, getting to know the backstory of the King and Queen of Thieves. Austin, are the links fixed or no?
probably not.
Okay. We have an official D5 Discord server. PM me on Twitter
Here.
or whatever social media you
Can
feel
we
like.
get a link from Discord? And just
Yeah, but it's a
post it
pain in the
in?
ass and I don't feel like doing that.
Hold on.
Because,
I'll do it.
It's not that hard.
How do I get the link?
You just gotta click on the site, which I already forgot where I put the site. Oh, there it is.
And support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon under the name Odd Tornado Productions, on Ko-fi at kofi.com/Odd Tornado Productions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, TNO capitalized, to get updates on all of our works, all of our artist stuff, and to know immediately whenever we go live. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight for our Monday campaign, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters trying to assemble the artifacts of the gods in a race against technology-worshipping cultists. Thank you, everyone at the table, so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.